So I'm at Gatwick Airport and I made a bit of a stuff up with this free lounge access. Basically says the lounge is open from 5:50 until 3:30. Now my flight is at 7 o'clock and they show the boarding gate an hour prior to departure. So it's kind of like pointless to basically have an early morning flight and the lounge is only open an hour prior to departure because you'll be rushing to eat whatever food they got and you don't really want to miss your flight. I don't want to miss this flight because it's cost me 36 quid return. So I'm kind of hoping Trip can give me another free lounge access the next time I book with them, because I am I've reached platinum class. I just still need to make another £300 flight to somewhere in Asia, and I'm pretty sure they'll give me another free lounge access. Anyway, I'm only flying to Jersey for today because I thought, well, there's no point in staying overnight. I mean, I could have just taken a boat back to Jersey, Portsmouth or Poole the next day, but I mean, I'm on a tight schedule. I just only want to be in Jersey for just one day, just a simple day trip. Mark it off, see what I gotta see. I only go to Guernsey every couple of years to see my cousin, and he's been living on the island for 10 years now. He's bought a house there, his children are in school, and he's staying put there until his children have all finished with their schools. But it's I'm kind of a bit worried that it's going to be a bit dull today, because every time I go to Guernsey I think to myself, mate, how dumb can you be to settle on this island? A small island, you hardly get anybody famous visiting, you hardly get any good bands coming into town, and you're just basically there because you're paying less tax than the mainland. Anyway, I want to say also, airport food isn't really that overpriced. I mean, look, this is a £1, and these two are £1.50, so £2.50 in total. But I did splash out at Wetherspoons today, paid about 11 quid for a cup of coffee, 2 hash browns and a porridge, which it's raised the price because this is airports. I've made it to the Balswick of Jersey today at age 39, 14 years after I first stepped foot in the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Northern Ireland. Jersey is the last of the Crown dependencies I have visited. I don't understand why I never went to Jersey after all the times I went to Guernsey. I always used to come to Guernsey for about 3 or 4 days to see my cousin, spend time with his family. But there's only one ferry a day between the islands, and there's also flights between the islands. But I never really had much of an interest. I thought, nah, I'll spend time with my cousin. So if I've landed at 8 o'clock and my flight home is at 4:50 tonight, it means I roughly have 4 or 5 hours to look around town before I have to come back to the airport. Yes, so I had a good time at the airport lounge at Gatwick. Really good food, despite the fact that I still ate some Wetherspoons before I got there, because I thought the lounge would not open until 10 minutes prior to the announcement of my flight gate. So I'm getting a bus out to Liberation Station, which will cost £2.80 each way. Good price. It's the same price I paid in the Isle of Man. Yeah. But I'm not really going to be traveling much around the island. I'm just going to be going to the capital of Jersey, have a look around. I was interested in going to a German underground hospital because I've been to the one in Guernsey, but Google Maps told me a few months ago that was going to be temporarily closed. But I don't think I'll have the time to see both the capital and the German tunnels. And also, sadly, my Leica mobile SIM card does not work over here in the Crown dependencies like it hasn't done so in the Isle of Man and Guernsey. I just don't understand why. Leica mobile is an international thing. I could roam in all the other EU nations, but no, it just won't work here in the Crown dependencies. Expect you to buy a SIM card. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So I just have to rely on Wi-Fi. Hopefully the bus does have Wi-Fi like they did in the Isle of Man. But I'm pretty sure there's gonna be plenty of Wi-Fi around town. Okay, heading out now. It only cost me $2.35. Wow, I thought it was gonna cost me $2.80, but oh well. Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure I get back here before 1 o'clock. Well, 3, I guess. Yes. I'm not gonna miss my flight, and I just hope there's no delays in going back to England, because in January my buddy John Kelly, their flight to Dublin was cancelled because of mechanical issues on the plane, and so they had to spend an extra night on the Isle of Man, and I had to fly back to England. Just pulling out of the car park. See a really nice church up there. Really steep one sticks out. Nice to see a Thai restaurant here, but you can get all sorts of restaurants in the Channel Islands. I went to an Indian restaurant when I was in the Isle of Man this year. I had Peshawar naan, that was so tasty. So I've just arrived in the heart of Jersey, the main capital. We can get a boat from either Portsmouth or Poole to Jersey, and also on to France in St. Malo, yeah. It's a liberation house over there, because in World War II, the Channel Islands were occupied by the Third Reich, and sadly, a few of its Jewish residents were deported to the camps in the Third Reich and also in Auschwitz, which is something I learned when I went to Auschwitz. There is a synagogue on the other side of the island, just near the airport, but I'm not going to visit that today because it's not Shabbat. It's only open on Shabbat. So I've only got a couple of hours just to look around town. I've just been getting like annoying messages from people in Jordan because I had a really crap time staying on this hostel, because they were bitching and moaning about me leaving my clothes on the floor, and I thought, well, what's the point? What am I supposed to do? You know, you stay in a bunk bed, and then you don't really have like, it's just really, I didn't really like Jordan that much, and I don't think I'd be back, and it wasn't really worth the 40 Jordanians I had to pay just to stay less than 24 hours in this country. But anyway, we're just gonna focus on Jersey today. What do you get when you cross an apple with Spider-Man? Cider-Man. No egos, no nonsense. So here's a map of St. Helier. So we got Jersey Opera House, 4 minutes away, the Royal Square, Hospital, Liberation Square, bus station, which is, I guess, like here. And then also Maritime Museum, Jersey Museum, the waterfront gardens. I think, what street am I on? Yeah, I think I've actually head north, so I should really head south. Well, I have made it to Liberation Square, which commemorates the liberation of the Channel Islands from Nazi occupation at the end of World War II in 1945. It's a big day that is celebrated here every day in the Channel Islands to commemorate when the Nazis had surrendered. Yes, you gotta remember, the Channel Islands were occupied for over 5 years after, I think it was like after the fall of Dunkirk, that they were eventually swallowed up a Third Reich, occupied, and Jewish residents were taken to concentration camps in other parts of Europe. But there are also heroic stories about locals who hid European Jews and gave them fake papers to say that they weren't Jewish, they were Christian, just to like hide them and keep them disguised for like the 5 years. I remember when I was in Guernsey about 6 years ago, I met a woman who was a child during the Nazi occupation, and her husband had put out a book explaining what had happened in those 5 years. So this statue commemorates the liberation of Jersey 50 years after it happened, and it was unveiled by the Prince of Wales on the 9th of May 1995. So it's quite, got like all sorts of people up there kind of represent like all the Channel Islands, you know, with the joyous return of the Union Jack, the flag they live under. So I feel like they've taken, this was probably an actual photograph that they've basically turned into a statue. We have a Barclays branch here because, you know, the Barclay brothers live nearby. The Cock and Bottle, actually sorry, Cock and Bottle. Funny name for a pub. Most of the time it's always the Cock Inn. We finally found a Methodist church up here. And Jersey's the last place I ever think there'd ever be a Methodist church. I don't think about British Christianity when you think of Methodists. I always think about, you know, Catholics for the Irish, and then Protestants, Anglicans, Presbyterians for, you know, the Scots and Welsh. But there's a Methodist church right here. Wow. 1847. Walking down this road, I see a building that says Brussels Place. Like the house, got one colour this side and one colour that side. Yeah. The another church in there, that's Baptist. And then I saw the spire of a cathedral nearby, so it has to be Catholic. And all of a sudden I walk down this street, and then there's another big church right there. Maybe Protestant, I guess. And then we have a bus that will get you around the island for $2.80 sterling. Yeah, and also we have a Best Western Hotel, I believe. They would probably charge me 60 to 70 pounds a night, which is why I didn't want to stay overnight today. I just thought I'll see the city centre and be on my way home. Millennium Town Park. Let's open the train here. This park looks quite new, or maybe I'd say maybe 25 years old. If that's how old this millennium is. The history for your artist fans. John Hellier Lander, 1868 to 1944, portrait painter, lived on this road. And what a colourful road it is. I just spent like £3.50 for a piece of tiffin. Yeah, it's like a mint slice, biscuit base, whatnot. But oh my god, a Americano was at least £3. I could get an Americano at Greg's in London for $160, $170 right now. Anyway, we're at a war memorial that commemorates the war dead from both world wars of 1914, 1918, World War I, and 1939, 1945, World War II. This is in French here. I said infant mort pour la patrie, like to honor the French roots of this island. And basically, it's memorials to those who gave their lives for the Channel Islands during World War I and World War II. Our glorious dead, their name lived forevermore. And then on Union Street, we have a marble monument and a couple of statues right there. But there's a memorial of people who've passed on. Oops, oh, just realized there's actually across the street along that road. They said, no, Martin, you have to wait for the green man, not the green arrow. I'm heading up to this tree that was unveiled on the 60th anniversary of the liberation of the Channel Islands, and it's in a prime location because you have this castle over there, as well as the port right there that takes the boats back to the mainland in England to Poole and Portsmouth, and as well as Guernsey and I believe Sark. Yes, the reason why I'm not taking a boat over to Jersey today is because it only runs once a day. If it ran twice a day, that would be more effective for me, for like someone who, let's just say, flew into Jersey at 8 o'clock in the morning, had a look around town, and then in the afternoon they took a boat over to Guernsey to stay the night. Yes. I never really wanted to visit Guernsey many years ago. I thought, well, it's a crown dependency. It does have some interesting history, but not as interesting as the Old Man with the Bee Gees. So when my cousin decided to move to the Channel Islands 10 years ago, that plotted a path that I would go to the Channel Islands to visit him. He's visited me in London only once, which was a couple of years ago, but he's now a Channel Islander after being there for 10 years, got the passport, got it all. He had a child born there a couple of years ago, and yes, he lives there. So we're looking at the Freedom Tree, which was actually unveiled by the Queen in 2005. So that was that would have been the 60th anniversary of the liberation of Guernsey. This tree represents freedom, peace, and hope for the future. And if I just step back down a bit, Freedom Tree and the winding near deserted lanes at dusk. How will we comfort? So yeah, you can't really like read it. This thing really needs to be like done up a little bit. Maybe a bit more gravel, like a dark shade to like make it really clear. So anyway, the airport that I landed in is located just over those hills. It takes half an hour to get from the airport into town, and then also it takes only about 4 or 5 hours to get to Poole, but much longer to get to Portsmouth. So assuming that there are ferries that go out to Castle Elizabeth, but I didn't find anything online. I didn't really look it up. I thought maybe that they do it daily, because you need a boat to get there and a boat to get back. It's unlike the Castle Cornet in Guernsey, where you can basically just like walk from the port to the castle. It's a no-brainer. But here we are, cold, windy day here in Guernsey, and Jersey, I believe. Yes. I believe. I can't really see Guernsey in the distance from here, but it just all depends on where you stand. But I have seen Jersey from Guernsey, and also a bit of France from where I've been in the Balswick of Guernsey. So I've always pretty much just done my walking tour of Jersey, and I'm gonna head off back to the airport around lunchtime just to make sure I'm ready for my flight home. Yes, the flight only took me like half an hour. I had a grandfather of mine who basically he used to sail from the south of England to the Channel Islands, and when he passed, my uncle Keith was supposed to get the boat, but he just got a wristwatch. I don't know what my Scottish grandfather was doing here in the Channel Islands, but he would sail here from, I guess, Portsmouth or Poole, and just, I guess, visit the islands and then go back to England. I've only been told about the story about once about how he would just sail a boat here. So that was quite brave. But let's just say you own a boat like that. You will not be able to take it back to England, I swear. You'd have to probably just get it tugged along. If you had a boat like one of those, you would be able to sail it back to England.